And I like rom-coms.
Hi, I'm Jared, and I enjoy when things spiral out of control.
But you know what we both love, and that would be the natural charm of being poor.
And this is...
Just kiss already.
Oh, okay, so you know what I haven't told you about?
What?
I have this TA this semester.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna name him in case he's a big fan of ours, but, it's an asynchronous lab.
Okay.
So I only have to drive out there every other week, which is great because it's super far.
Yeah.
But the way that the lab works, he introduces to the in-person classmates what they're going to be doing, and then he comes to us afterwards. But he's super long-winded.
Yeah.
So what happens is I wake up at 7:30, log on at 8, and then everybody gets there at 8, and we're all waiting for 40 minutes while he just kind of does his bit for the people who are there.
I've never had a lab, so I don't know what this is like at all.
It's normally lab is great because you just show up and you do what it says on the paper, and then it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong or how bad your measurements are, as long as you talk about why that might be.
Oh, that's good.
It's pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
Nice. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna... I enjoy the way that labs are done.
Nice.
But this lab... He will get online and he'll be like, oh, okay, so today you're just going to be doing this, and it's fine. And I'm going to tell you this story about this one time that I was in this lab with this guy, and he did this thing.
Oh, no.
So if you're doing this, then you need to stop. And I'm like, dude, I appreciate it, but, you're not my mentor character. I'm not in this major. None of us are. So why are you just giving so much time being like, this is some insider information? And we're like, we're not going to use it.
We're not going to use it.
I have a pet peeve about, unasked for advice, I guess.
That's fair. What you said about you're not my mentor makes a lot of sense, because I can think of, teachers in my life who I would listen to literally anything they say. Oh. And I can think of others who just, I'm like, why? Why are you telling me this?
Have you ever, apprenticed with somebody or been, super under their wing?
I mean, for my entire, degree program, yeah, definitely, just because I look up a lot to my professors and stuff, and also the students who are further along than me in their coursework, especially when I've taken classes with PhD students. That's always cool, interesting to see what they're doing. But I've never had a one-on-one apprenticeship. But when I was I always talk about how I went to nerd school. Yes. I went to this choice school that was if you got a failing grade, they could kick you out of the school.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so everybody there, and you could there was just a bunch, everyone was oh my god, AP classes, and everyone, the SAT would happen, and I'd come to homeroom, and they'd be like, what'd you get on the SAT? And I'd be I didn't even take it this week,
Nerd school.
Yeah, it was just nerd school. But one of the things about the school is that it was a middle high. And also, in my county, middle school started in 7th grade, not 6th grade.
Oh, I've heard about
that. 6th grade was in elementary school for me. So, all of this to say that when I started at this school, I was in 7th grade. I didn't have any siblings before because my brother went to he just decided to not go to nerd school and went to normal school.
Oh man.
So I went in totally fresh faced, but I had heard stories from my brother about how middle school is a scary place. Aww. And you're gonna get bullied because they throw the 7th graders in trash cans.
Don't throw Karen in the trash.
And so I was terrified, especially knowing that this school went all the way up to high school. So I was oh my god, there's gonna be seniors. And I was so scared. And I remember my first day, I got lost on the way to one of my classes. Not necessarily. I went into the room next door because I mixed up the numbers.
Gotcha.
And the room that I went into was a senior seminar class. It was just all high school seniors. I opened the door. And when I was in 7th grade, I was so small. Jared, I was so tiny. And so I opened up this door and I was oh, and I'm expecting them to be get it, a bug, squash it. And they all just go, aww. And I was and they were I think you want to be next door. And I was just ooh, and I closed the door, and I'm already, I'm this school's weird. But then I got to my chorus class, and I experienced a very strange thing, because this girl, we're told to, like, pick a partner for something, I think. I don't know. Something where someone came to talk to me. And this girl runs up to me. And she's like, "Hi, you're my Sevi." And I was like, "I'm your what now?" And she was like, "You're my Sevi. I saw you. You're adorable. I want you to be my Sevi." And there was, like, another girl who was like, "I wanted her to be my Sevi." And I was like, what is happening?
Incredible.
And I come to find out at this school, I guess, it's like, we like the younger students and we think they're cute and we don't want to bully them and throw them into
trash cans, which, very cool. I mean, I had fun. And then I looked forward to having my own Sevi when I was in, like, 8th grade, so a good system. But what about you? Have you had, like, a little apprenticeship, mentorship experience or anything?
I feel like, yeah. I feel like I started down a career path not too long ago because one of our mutual friends had some experience with it and was like, "Oh, this seems like something you might be interested in."
Yeah.
So I started pursuing it, and they were like the only person I could come to for advice for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think it's just like a cool community thing, but like in that field, the people that I've reached out to have all been super nice, and they're all super willing to offer advice and answer questions. So I don't know if it's like I could call anybody specifically my mentor or me an apprentice yet.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely just like that nice culture of like, oh, this person is newer and we are going to help them get better.
Yeah.
No gatekeeping allowed kind of thing.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things about my program is that it has always felt like a very welcoming space. I remember day one when I started my teaching assistantship, I walked into this room like, "What is going on?" And they were like, "Nah, we got you. We'll tell you everything."
Oh.
They told me about like, "Oh, this teacher we had last year, he was like this," and like they told me like so much, and I was just like, "This is so nice. I love this," especially because my program's very small. There was like 15 of us, so I was like, "Yay,
Aww.
happy family."
It's really sweet. Acceptance is very underrated.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to be accepted.
It's also nice to accept new people into your clubs.
Yeah, like elementary school students who wander in and say, "Please teach me how to make the women happy."
What up? It's episode 6.
That's right, we're back with Ouran High School Host Club. We have watched the next episode, and this is the child episode.
Yeah, you gotta have one.
You gotta have
I thought Honey Senpai, like, covered the base for that? Like,
yeah, but that's the thing is he wasn't an actual child. You have to have a real child.
a certified brat.
Yeah, exactly.
So this kid walks up, and he immediately knows how to get his way by, like, flattering Tamaki's ego.
He walks up and he looks Tamaki in the eye and he's like, "You're the king." And Tamaki just immediately goes, "Flattery will get you everywhere."
Exactly.
And
that.
we just kind of welcome this child into the host club because he wants to know how to get ladies.
Yeah, and then he's not there for 3 minutes before he starts roasting the entirety of the group.
He then proceeds to just, like, line everybody up and just destroy them one by one.
Like, Tamaki smooth-talking someone, and he's like, "You're being too flattering. Like, this person is not a mermaid princess, she's a carp."
He's like, "Why would you lie to her like that? I would never give someone a compliment that wasn't true."
You know how kids are brutally honest?
Yeah.
That's what that's about, man.
Oh, man.
And then he puts Honey on blast by being like, "Oh, why are you wearing a high school uniform? You're like my size. What grade are you in?"
And then Mori walks up and he's like, "No, children aren't allowed to have cool older friends."
Yeah, you can't just bring your tall friend into our conversation.
Oh, man.
He totally calls the twins out on their bit, which he's like, Are y'all gay for each other as brothers?" Like, he acknowledges how wild that is.
Yeah,
I guess he's not refined enough in his taste.
He puts the whole fan fiction community on blast.
Oh yeah,
he destroys them.
He takes one look at Haruhi and he's like, "Are you cross-dressing?"
And we're all like, "Huh?"
Yeah, and the cast goes on the full defensive of being like, "Wow, you're so buff, so traditionally masculine today."
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, so we basically have this adventure with this child who he's actually trying to impress his crush, who's moving away to Germany very soon, which sounds like something I would have said when I was trying to tell people I had, like, a fake boyfriend who didn't exist in elementary school.
That's so interesting.
Like, you know, he's in Canada. He's not really here.
They're always in Canada. And so,
oh, man.
So he gets put in jail for a little bit.
Yeah, like a literal jail box.
Yeah, it just
like
drops from the ceiling of the music room.
Ceiling.
He was standing on a big X at some point.
Yeah.
And then Renge comes in and she's like, okay, we're gonna rebrand this child so that he can be a good host. But he's not interested in being a host. Like,
yeah. Well, he does, so he kind of, again, is like, please teach me. And Kyoya brings up the great point of like, well, we actually have a really well fleshed out dating sim cast right now. We don't really have room for a new character.
Yeah.
And that's where Renge comes in and is like, all of you are so weak. You have no idea what a dating sim cast should be like. I can find a place for him.
Oh yeah, she assigns him naughty boy.
Yes.
And she's like, all your knees scuffed, all your skin bandaged, all your attitude rude, all your run fast. And then they're like, the kid leaves.
Yeah.
The kid is like, this is dumb. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And Haruhi's superpower being listening, she's like, that kid says a lot of things about her and how time sensitive it is.
What could it be?
So they go on a cosplay adventure to the middle school.
Into the elementary school.
Oh, you're right.
Because Haruhi's dressed as a middle schooler and Honey's dressed as an elementary schooler.
Yeah, and we were talking about this outside of recording, but like Tamaki just had a Haruhi wig.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
He always has a wig that's exactly what her hair used to look like in middle school, and he's always got it prepared.
He's just a nice little wig bag that he brings into school with him.
He's got prime, that boy.
So they find a picture of Shiro playing piano with girl, and then wouldn't you know it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's in the music club, so they go there and they spy on him.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, play piano with me!
And he's like, no!
And she's like, okay! And then she just starts playing piano.
Oh god.
And then he comes out and confronts Tamaki like, why are you spying on me? He gets hoisted onto Tamaki's shoulder.
Picked up.
And he's like, come back to the host club room. We have thing to tell you.
Yeah. Tamaki essentially turns around and he's like, listen, boy, I can teach you how to flirt, but I can't teach you how to love.
Yeah, and I could also teach you how to play piano.
But I can teach you how to rock those keys.
Yeah. They reveal the piano in the music room, and there's been so much shit in this episode that's like a cage falling from the ceiling, and Haruhi's like, isn't this a music room? And then Renge's platform rising up, and Haruhi goes, isn't this a music room? And then as soon as the piano gets revealed, every character gets a turn to go, well, it is.
Because Haruhi's like, we had a piano here the whole time? And they're like, well, it is a music room.
Come on, it's a music room.
Come on. Literally every single character says the line.
In fact, a music room.
But we do get the a nice little happy ending of we invite the Quash and they play piano together. Because Tamaki makes the note to be like, if I am correct, I think this piano piece is actually Mozart something written for two pianos.
Yes.
And so they play piano together, and it is a song that we hear often in the show, kind of like come up, so that was kind of fun to see. And so they get to play piano, which is nice.
It's very cute.
But she does have to go to Germany.
She does still have to move. And so we get kind of like an epilogue 10 days later, I think. That's like, he's talking about, we're emailing like on the daily. We chat. Yeah. We got that AOL instant messenger on the regs.
Yeah.
And then we pan out and we see, he's surrounded by girls, and he's like, just don't tell them that I'm working at the host club.
Yeah, we find out that the true star of any host/dating sim scenario is always tsundere. Always, without a doubt.
Definitely.
We're all weak.
It's just the most like Bugs Bunny shit-eating grin ending, because like literally it's his face, and then you just expect it to go da 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 da.
I love how we went through this whole arc of he was like, I don't want to just please women. I have one girl that I want to please, and in the end he's like, so I'm a host now.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
He's really putting the hoe in host.
Yeah. And he's like 10. I don't even know.
Oh yeah,
this is a small boy.
The kid has more game in his pinky finger.
He is the same size as Honey, which is very funny.
Yeah. I want, like, honestly, hopefully we'll get a scene where Mori is just like dual wielding Honey and Shiro.
Oh my god. He's got one on each arm.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever play helicopter when you were a kid?
It depends on what helicopter is.
So hear me out. It's when you have one strong parent, or perhaps an additional person.
Okay.
And you grab onto their arm, and somebody else grabs onto the other arm, and then they spin around and try to lift you up with it.
No, I never. That's... No, I cannot say that I've played helicopter.
I see.
I'm sorry to break it to you.
So that, but with Maury.
It might be because my brother has just always been so much larger than me because I was, like, super short and my brother was always super tall. So it just, like, didn't work. It would have been off kilter.
Yeah, it was just the sound of a helicopter crashing.
Yeah.
So they say something this episode that I thought was really cool and that made me think. Kyoya, when he's explaining, like, yeah, everybody has, like, their strengths and also their, like, niche here. He says, use what you've got. And I thought that was just, like, generally cool advice.
Yeah.
Like, everybody always says, like, be yourself. And it's easy to be like, oh, well, I want to be different. But, like, if you think of your uniqueness as an asset, you can use what you've got.
Yeah.
And I think that's so much better to lean into the aspects of yourself that occur naturally than trying to, like, bold a letter that's not really in your alphabet.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's something that can be applied to a lot of different situations. I mean, we both do improv comedy, and that's, like, a great first lesson for people to learn is just use what's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't worry about thinking about cool, crazy, awesome things. Like, if you can, great. But if not, use what comes to your mind. And if what comes to your mind is walking in and saying hello, that's fine. Just do it.
I was listening to an audiobook recently about improv, and they talk about how nobody has your lived experience, even if you have a twin. Like, so the first thing you think of in a situation might be something that nobody else thinks of, and like channeling that will take you to like interesting places. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that was a good bit of like dating advice, especially since this has to do with like an episode about trying to not have like a relationship, but I guess like he has a quash. Like, have a quash.
He have a quash.
Have a quash, be yourself.
Have a quash, be yourself.
Words to live by.
Yeah. Exactly said as that. If you say them any differently, it won't work.
So, I don't know if this happened to you, but the second that Shiro comes in and starts to, like, show his character...
Oh, did you kind of think of maybe another small tsundere boy with a similar hair color and eye shape who exists in another anime?
Similar palette. Similar shorts.
Just like another shoujo anime character.
Yeah, he kind of is basically just a hero Soma type. And now seeing this in like its tropiest form.
Yeah.
And then being like, no, you're a naughty boy and you have to always act like you're okay because you're a tough little man. And then it's like, that's Hiro Soma.
Yeah,
That's
and he also
archetype.
has a quash.
Yeah, he also has a quash, but he'll never admit it.
All of our Fruits Basket fans, you'll know. If not, Fruits Basket is a very good anime and manga that you should consider checking out.
Oh yeah, totes.
And totes.
I do love a tsundere.
Yeah, I agree. His character is... It's interesting because part of it just feels like this is a child, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, tsundere is like that feels like a child.
It's what you do when you're a kid. It's like a natural part of life. Like, I don't like you. Don't chase me around the playground. But secretly, I want you to chase me around the... Because how else are you going to spend recess? Yeah, how else are you going to spend recess, honestly? I will say... I do kind of, as much fun, I guess, as the, like, jokey ending was, I think maybe because we had just come off of the Twins episode last week that there was something kind of nice about the joke ending, but then the real ending. So I guess maybe there was a little part of me that when we got that real kind of, like, sweet ending of, like, he's playing piano with her and, like... It's just nice to see cutting straight to the like, and now I was like, oh, come on, Shiro. Like, what happened? I thought you had a big quad. This was an interesting episode because in the way that the host, like the character of the week, took a backseat last episode. Yeah. It feels like the host club kind of took a backseat a little bit this episode. Because we kind of just focus on Shiro and his crush, and it's really like a lens to show Tamaki being like, listen, there is a line between wanting to make the women of the world happy by being a host and just trying to win the love of one specific person. Yeah. And he kind of ties it back to, like, being a man, which I think is a very common thing for, like, young boys in shows, where it's, like, the struggle for manhood. Yeah. Though I will say we did kind of enact the thesis of making girls happy, because we did help her out. Yeah. Although I do think actually some of Tamaki's character was really interesting this episode. I did like like the scene of him playing piano. That was kind of something we found out about him that we didn't know before, and it makes sense. It makes sense. He's rich from family. That's like a trope. Is like, oh, everyone in a rich family has to learn a musical. If you can afford to have a piano in your house, you can afford to learn how to play it. But yeah, I definitely
agree that I think we saw a little bit less of the host club this episode. Though we did get to see plenty of... There was a fun break-in scene where we got to see everybody just thinking Haruhi is the cutest thing in the entire world, because she is.
She is. There is one thing I wanted to mention that I realized. When they're enacting the plan to make Haruhi dress up in the middle school uniform,
yes,
everyone's shown in silhouette with, like, big light smiling through their face.
Oh, yeah.
Even Mori's like, yeah.
Oh, Mori speaks this episode, by the way,
He
which
does.
means it's a good episode.
It is a good episode. Checked and checked.
Checked and checked. Yeah, and everybody thinks that Haruhi is the cutest thing in the world. No matter how much they pretend that they don't. Everybody thinks Haruhi is adorable.
Because she is.
Because she is. Though, maybe since we're in high school, but still, like, dressing around as a middle school and being like, it's a little weird, but
we're gonna ice skate right on by. So, speaking of tropes, because I think that the middle school uniform thing is a little bit tropey. At me. I didn't really clock this as a trope, but this is something that you had mentioned. Mm-hmm. The idea of, like, the apprentice, or, like, somebody who is learning from somebody else.
Yes.
I think that's interesting, and I could probably think of a couple places that I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that first came to mind was, like, we have Tamaki and then we have Shiro.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of Sailor Moon and then, like, Chibi Usa from that.
So I think a lot of, I guess, in relation to shoujo manga, a lot of times where I've seen this, sometimes it's a trope as a great way to introduce a kind of, like, villain character. Oh. Like, someone will come to the main girl and be like, you're so cool and I, like, want to learn from you and be your friend. And then it turns out, I was in love with the boy, or whatever.
That's very cool.
But also we do have instances of, like, a good kind of episode fun thing is some third party meets one of the main two characters or something, says, like, I don't know, you're great and cool and I want to learn from you.
Teach me, yeah.
Exactly. And they kind of get carried along on the story, whether it's as, like, a device to kind of make someone jealous, or if it's just kind of, like, to explore a part of their character. In this case, I think we definitely got to explore Tamaki's character a little bit in terms of learning about his piano and stuff. Mm-hmm. And also it was just kind of fun.
I think the other really fun trope for me, I love tsundere.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
I will out myself. I think Tsundere's second place to Yandere, but, like, we'll get there when we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. I, for one, am Tsundere first place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My crush.
Oh, yeah. My crush is weaving. What am I gonna do? That's a big one.
I like this. I love time-sensitive fun. I love things that are sad.
Oh.
It's just something I can't help myself. A little bit of melancholy goes a long way.
Yeah.
And the idea of, like, oh, I'm having such a good time, but I'll never... This experience will never not be tainted by the fact that it is on a clock. Because really, when you think about it, everything's on a clock.
Oh no.
Melancholy.
Alright, hold on. No, I can't have a crisis right now.
My favorite flavor of sorbet.
I have to have a crisis later.
Watermelancholy.
No. Oh, man. Yeah, I definitely... I think my crush is leaving is a big popular one, but I think also, like, friend leaving. I've definitely seen this played out in a lot of different genres.
Yeah. I love the childhood friend who moves away specifically and then comes back later in life. It's such a good trope. Like, that reunity.
Reunity. We did see this trope recently in another cross-dressing drama.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
That was a huge part of the last couple episodes. It was a huge part of the entire show. It was first... spoilers for Coffee Prince.
Yeah, if you haven't, go back and listen now, because we're about to spoil it
When you think about it, half of that show we spend with the knowledge, oh, Hangyeol's gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then when he's not gonna leave, Unchan's gonna leave. So it's like, everybody leaving.
Everybody leaving. I do actually, I feel like I've seen that specifically a lot as, like, a kind of, like, I shouldn't say underlying, like, trope throughout this series where one character might have a time-sensitive thing, and oftentimes once they don't, the other one suddenly does.
Yes, a twist of fate. Star-crossed lovers.
I've seen that done a few times.
I think that's good. I like that.
Good.
Nothing hacky about it.
Don't want anyone to stay around? Can't just hang out?
We also have any excuse to dress Haruhi as a girl.
Yeah, we jump at the chance. We love to put Haruhi in the feminine clothing.
Yes.
We love to do it.
Put the Sarafuku on.
Put it on.
Put it on.
Put it on.
And then I love they got her sneaking around the middle school and they are all walking confidently behind.
She's like, what happened to the plan? And they're like, what do you mean we go to school here?
Like, this is nothing suspicious about this.
Yeah. And then the teacher walks by and they're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done
Everybody
this.
hide. God, I do like Honey just like goes along with the child uniform.
Yeah.
Like,
Can we all in?
And it fits him.
Of course it does. He's small.
He's so small.
Elementary school student size.
Elementary, my dear. We interrupt your regularly scheduled podcast for a conversation about socks.
We have to talk about them. They are very important.
So this came up a little bit while we were pre-record bantering.
Yeah.
And there's not really a reason to talk about it in this episode. Nobody's like, oh, my socks are too sexy for my feet.
How did this even come up?
I think you mentioned socks that you had to wash. And I was like, oh, those are good socks, just from memory. So I want to make a quick distinction real quick before we get into this.
Okay.
This is specifically about socks. This has nothing to do with feet. I'm trying to keep a straight face here because I'm dead serious. There's nothing about the foot, not even the shape or the number.
This is the foot out of the question.
Yeah, no, the size of the toes, nothing. This is all about the garment, as it often is for me.
Yes.
So, everybody like to say, sock that go up to the big leg,
like thigh
the
high.
thigh high, the thigh scraper. It's okay. It's all right. It's good. Nothing wrong.
Everyone like to say incredible.
Everyone like to say, ooh, wow, wow, mommy.
And like, it's definitely good.
Everyone like to make the funny wolf noise and go, auga.
Yeah. Their eyes pop out.
Not I.
Okay.
Knee sock?
Yeah, how about this level?
Knee sock, okay. I like panty and stocking. I like the knee sock and the scanty. Good show.
The knee sock and the scanty.
They're the villains in panty and stocking. I like it. It's not my thing. It's okay.
It's fine, though.
Calf sock.
Like crew.
Like a pirate ship crew.
Yar.
Yar.
Yeah.
Me want.
That's it? That's
the one. That's the best sock.
You know, there's actually... so when I was getting a friend a little Christmas present, and I was looking for some socks, because they had made an offhand comment about wanting more, like, fun socks. So I was like, I got you. I was looking for socks, and I was trying to I found a pattern that I really liked, but they only had it available in, like, as, like, a woman's sock, and, because, you know, we gotta do that.
Socks for women.
Socks for women, of course. But it was, like, a women's crew sock, and then there was, like, this extra large for, like, sizes above, like, 13. And he does not have size above 13 shoe, but he would technically fit into the women's one. However, women's crew socks are shorter than men's.
What?
Yeah, they only come up to, like here, even though, like, normal crew socks come up, like, a nice, solid, like
a half calf.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, yo, what the heck? Like, I also want protection when I wear my Converse high tops.
Yeah.
Like, I would like...
When I play soccer.
Yeah, what the heck? So I was kind of, I shouldn't say shocked, but a little upsetty to find out that they're stupid short.
I would be upsetty.
Yeah. Even though I don't have, like, I have, like, I'm short. Okay, so yeah, like, longer might be a little too long sometimes, but they were shorter, and he, like, wears boots all the time, so I was like, this isn't not gonna work.
Socks with boots is so important. Nobody teaches you that until,
right?
the first time you walk around, you're like, why are my ankles so sweaty? It's because you didn't wear the right socks. I will make a distinction.
Okay.
Sock garters, very important. Very good as well.
I've never worn a sock garter in my life.
I just wish that I had socks that could stay up. Because I have, like, fun novelty socks.
Yeah.
But now I have to buy an extra piece of equipment that straps to my leg. So that I can have people be like, oh, look at my socks! And not just constantly be rolling them back up. Because elastic is trash.
Elastic is a little trash, I gotta say.
I don't like material that gets bored of its job.
Yeah. Tell that to thigh-high socks. They love to just, like, roll on down.
I don't like the sad, deflated thigh-high who's like, I don't feel like being sexy right now.
I don't feel like being sexy right now.
It ain't easy being queen
I will agree, though. I think that crew socks are my favorite sock length.
It's adventurous without being, like, overtly sexualized.
Yeah. I got really into crew socks at the same time as I started becoming somebody who wears Converse high tops.
A side tangent about fishnets.
Oh.
I like that they are used for roller derby. Like, that's...
Oh.
I think of them as being functional clothing for roller derby that has kind of been, like, used elsewhere for fashion, and I love that. Yeah. But I really remember my first exposure to it being, like, my family, and my whole family did roller derby except for me, including my dad.
Roller derby fan.
Yeah. But when you hit that wood, this fishnet make you slide.
Oh.
So you get no wood burn.
That's nice.
And I think that's cool.
That's cool.
I like a sock that does its job.
Yeah, I agree.
This has been a message about my relative attraction to different lengths of leg wear.
Let's get back to Just Kiss already. So Jaren, what do you think is gonna maybe go down in a little episode 7?
Well, I've already used pool and Parents' Day.
Yes, you have. You've also already used Gender Panic.
That's a good one. That's my favorite.
And School Day.
Oh, how about I would like a nice sports day.
Ooh, like a little.
I feel like that would be a good Maury episode in concept.
Ooh.
Or it would be a good subverting the trope episode. Because you have, let's say, like, the host club participates in the sports day as a team.
Of course, the relay race.
Yeah, of all different grades, because that's how we do it for this show.
Yes, of course.
And they're like, oh, Haruhi, like, you gotta bulk up so we could be the anchor in the race.
Yeah. We need you to get strong.
Yeah. And Haruhi's like, oh, Mori-sensei, teach me how to lift weight. And he's like, actually, I'm into macrame.
Oh.
That would be a good an episode.
Aww, Maury. That sounds good. I do like the sports day.
I'm also into macrame. I listen to Thrift Shop at least once a week. What?
All right. Will they or won't they? Next time on Just Kiss Already. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you in the next episode.
We won't drop you.
What?
We won't drop them. We'll catch them.
Oh, I thought you said we will.
No, never.
Okay, good.
Mwah.
Bye.